Is what's happening down in Trinidad and Tobago. So I had to come back into a follow-up video because I got some messages from our friends in Trinidad and Tobago, from those of you who support in the channel. I really appreciate that, a lot of you. And I share in the sentiments. I believe that Rowley made a mistake in Parliament when he said that the police are afraid of the criminals. They're in police station hiding from criminals. One of the things I believe that when you're in charge of a country, when you're in charge of security of a nation, that is one of the last things that you want to say to the criminals, or you want the criminals to know that there's weakness in the armed forces of the nation. You do that, their rogue elements will just take over. They will start to think that they can take parts of the country. It's like they want their own militia group. They'll form their own police force. That is what they do in rogue states, and you don't want Trinidad to become like that. I think he made a mistake when he said that the police are in the police station, locking up early basically, and hoping that criminals don't come their way. That's a mistake. That's giving the criminal elements platform to run on. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about,
Dr. Rowley said even law enforcement officers are using the police stations to hide from criminals.
Police officers whose job it is to protect us and to secure us in some districts at night are so afraid of the criminals that they close the police station door, turn off the light, and be inside there hoping that the criminals don't come at them.
I'm sure on reflection right now that if he could take that back, he would, in terms of not saying it at all. But he can't. It's already gone. But that is a mistake. In hindsight, I'm sure he's saying that that is a mistake. Do you really want criminal elements in your country to run amok more than they're already running amok? Do you want them to believe or to think that they have the upper hand on the security apparatus of your nation? Do we really want that? Do we really want criminals to know these things? This is something that you call your police commissioner, those in charge of security, all the various agencies. This is something that you call them together to meet and say, look, guys, some of our policemen are sleeping in the night. They're hiding, they're locking up the stations early, and they're hoping that the criminals don't come their way. This is something that you bring in a meeting. You say, listen, we have to get a handle on this. We have to pull these guys together and tell them, look, you have the backing of the state. I'm giving you ammo. I'm giving you firepower. I'm giving you more powers under the state of emergency to go after the elements, to arrest them, to get as much information as you can, to raid places, to see if you can dig out as much as you can so we could lessen the impact of crime on the nation. But when you go to Parliament and you tell the criminals that this is what is happening, I mean, some of them may know, but to make it bold, it means it is showing weakness on your part, that criminal elements really have an upper hand in the country. You're correct when you say it is a cancer. And this blame game that is also going on between the opposition and government is not doing the country any good. When you have Kamala blaming Rowley about the amount of murders, and then Rowley coming and blaming Kamala for the amount of murders that under her tenure, that still is not going to help the situation. Right now, it's not even a blame game anymore. It's tough questions, tough answers, tough action call. And that is why I often say, when people get into power, when you're in opposition, don't make promises that you cannot fulfill while you're in government. If you see crime is out of control in your opposition, say, look, we have a serious problem in the country. We need to tackle it from both ends, where government and opposition should be able to sit down, have a meeting and say, look, I bring this to the table, you bring that to the table, and maybe we can flesh out something here and help the nation. I don't think crime is anything to really be partisan on by itself. Just like, oh, this is your problem, this is not mine. When I get in, I will fix it. You can't fix it. It has been with us since timely immemorial. Cain and Abel, go back to the start of the Bible. That's where it's been there ever since. We're only going to get rid of crime when this side of eternity is finished, whether you like it or not. That's the only time we're going to get rid of crime. We can lessen the impact to a certain extent. And that is why people have to work together to do that. When you're in opposition and you say, oh, I can fix it, and then you get in, you realize the elements are not as you think they are. The ducks are not lined up as you think they are. And there's not much you can do. And then it spirals out of control. Everybody blames you because you promise to fix it. And this has been happening in several Caribbean countries, not only Trinidad and Tobago. This happened in St. Vincent. The government right now in St. Vincent, the government of Prime Minister Gonzalez said in 2001, look, we got to be tough on crime and the causes of crime. And then 20 years after, he said, there's no magic bullet to take care of that. And so these are the things that I'm getting after. When you're in a position, work together with governments. See what you can do to lessen the impact of the situation. Because you really get in there, you will find out that you cannot solve the issue. And it's not taking the side of any government. This is just saying, look, that there are things that needs to be done from both government and opposition standpoint. And if they work together, they can solve some of the issues that you're having in terms of crime. I think Rowley made a mistake. I think PM Rowley made a serious mistake when he made that statement. And I hope that something could be done in terms of letting the criminal elements know that, look, you're not in charge. Because right now, even though with a state of emergency, crime is still taking place and heinous crimes are still taking place. But anyway, guys, you can leave your comments in the section below. Let me know what you think. Okay.